Hey, this is Ms. Doermal with High Level History. Today I'm going to show you exactly how to use the 15-minute reading period as part of the DBQ. So you get 60 minutes to write the DBQ, and 15 of those minutes should be used for reading and organizing the documents. So I'm going to show you how to best spend those 15 minutes so you can pick up as many points as possible in the DBQ. So there's already a lot of videos out there that will kind of tell you how to write a DBQ, and they go through the steps, and those are really valuable. But what I want to do today is actually take you through an example that I wrote and show you exactly how to organize your DBQ and what my thinking process is throughout. Because I think it's really valuable to see how a teacher might approach one of these essays. So what I want you to do is actually do this with me. So you're going to actually pause this video in a second and download the documents. So I've linked the documents just below the video. Go ahead and download them and get them set up, and maybe split your screen so you can see them both. And I'm going to tell you what to do with them in just a second. The first thing you need to do is to understand the prompt. It's important that you take, 30 seconds to a minute or even 2 minutes to just really zoom in on the prompt, break it apart, figure out what is it asking, make sure you understand all the words that they're using. So what I like to do is to circle the verb so that I'm clear on what skill I'm going to be writing, underline and the topic, and then you can either circle or underline the year as well, so you know exactly what time period you're referring to. Okay, so, and then the second thing you're going to do is to kind of rewrite it. So, the AP College Board version of the prompt is sometimes very wordy. So pull that apart so that it's just kind of like, what are the similarities between blank? Or what are the causes of this? Okay, so go ahead and do that. So the first thing that you'll notice that I'm doing is circling and underlining the words in the prompt so that you know exactly what you need to pay attention to. So a lot of times, they're not going to tell you that they're asking for causes. They're not going to be clear about that. So you want to make sure that you pull out the words that tell you what you're looking for. So in this example, use the documents, evaluate the factors that shaped the Olympic movement from 1892 to 2002. So it's important in this prompt that it's talking about factors that shaped. So that's really like causes and effects, right? So I have that noted on mine. And then as I'm going through, so I just am going to kind of rewrite, and this is a process, so you'll notice that I kind of make mistakes too, right? So I'm going to rewrite that question into just like what factors shaped the Olympics. Okay, so now that you have your prompt analyzed, you know what the essay prompt is asking, and you're clear on that. Now you need to go into the documents. So you have 15 minutes on the actual exam to do this, and I want you to practice doing this quickly. So you are going to actually go through the documents and read them before I show you what I've done. What you're going to do though is while you're looking at the documents, you're only going to look to see how does this document answer my new question. So in my case, my question was, what factors shaped the Olympics? So as I read through the documents, I'm only looking to see just that. What does this document say about the modern Olympic movement? What is it? What is the factor in here that is shaping the way that the Olympics are today? Okay, and I'm just going to kind of keep track of that. So you'll see, so I'll kind of like speed through so you can see what that looks like. So as I'm looking at the document, I'm also going to keep track, right? Document 1, and I'm just going to see how does that document answer the question. Okay, so go ahead and pause this video and do that on your own so that when I explain them, you have a good sense of what the documents actually say. Okay, so let's go through what I've done. So I went through the document. So document 1, I noted really focused on a reduction of war and using the Olympics as a means of peace, right? So I noted that for document 1. And then in document 2, it's just it's an image, and you can kind of quickly note the factor that's shaping it, and you can see 2% of athletes were women in 1908. And so I noted that there were social changes that were affecting the Olympics, right? So if this is showing me that only 2% of the athletes were female, then I know that it's going to kind of bring me back to that point. So I'm just going to make that point right there, that the social changes happening for women in feminism was an important factor. Okay, so back in. So document 3, I can see 1936, and I'm just going to quickly, I'm going to make note of that because I know that's an important year. But I'm also just, in general, I'm just looking for what is this saying about factors that relate to the Olympics. And I've noticed that nationalism is a big factor here, right? The Nazis are using it as a platform for international respect. And as I come back, I'm circling the years. I'm actually making note really quick, too, of some context that I know I want to include later. So 1936, we have pre-World War II / Hitler. And then we have Cold War in 1952 for document 4. So for document 4, as I'm underlining, I'm noting that it's really talking about this nationalism idea as well with the Cold War and how, the countries of the United States and the Soviet Union really were pit against each other in these, the superpowered. And so on document 5, same thing. I'm noting 1980. I know that the U.S. boycotts that Olympics, so I'm just going to make note of that and just really underline. I'm just looking to see what are the factors, what is influencing the modern Olympic revolution or Olympic movement. And so again, I'm noting there's this sense of nationalism that this document is showing how the Soviet Union is just really excited to be hosting the Olympics and is using it as a sense of, pride in the choice of that location. So in document 5, same thing. I'm just looking for what are the factors that shape the modern revolution, modern Olympic movement. I keep making that mistake. All right, so I noticed in document 6 that it's talking about social changes. It's talking about the inclusion of women and even the Olympics as a catalyst for change, right? And so as more and more women feel that they see themselves represented in these huge world, on the world stage, they're more likely to get involved anyways. Okay, so document 7, same thing. What is the factor in document 7 that's affecting the Olympic movement? So we have, in document 7, we have the Olympics as a stage for national rivalry, or, it's like better than war. It's better for India and Pakistan to be in this like healthy competition during the Olympics than to be fighting each other, even though they have this, rivalry, this political rivalry. So let's just look into like what I have. So I went through every single document and I just made a list. I just tried to figure out how does this document answer the question, right? And I just have my list 1 through 7 and little notes next to it of what I need to know. I haven't fully analyzed all the documents yet. I will, and I made note of some of the important, sourcing, the dates or some context, but I haven't done anything else yet. I've just made my list. Okay, so remember, your list, what you wrote may look the same as mine. It may look different. With analysis, there's no one-size-fits-all. So there are plenty of different ways to analyze documents. So this is my take on these documents. So once you have all of them listed, your next step is to group them, to figure out what is a way that you can present an argument to this question using the documents. So you're really looking for patterns here. How are they similar? So pause the video right now and go back to your list and you figure out groupings, and then I'll show you what I did. All right, so I have, for my groupings, I noticed a couple of patterns. One, for factor number 1, is peace, right? Some reduction of war, using the Olympics as a form of diplomacy, or almost like an outlet for political tensions. And I noticed that documents 1, 4, and 7 would all fit into that argument. I can use them to prove my point. For factor number 2, I noticed that it's sort of a catalyst or a reflection of social change. And so we're seeing the increase of women being allowed to participate in, and you can use documents 2 and 6 to really argue that point. And then I have a third factor here where the rise of nationalism is a giant, factor of the 20th century that's really impacting the Olympic movement as well. And so I know I can use documents 3, 4, and 5 to really argue those points. Okay, so now I have my 3 arguments. I know how I want to answer this prompt. I know what my 3 body paragraphs are going to be about. And I know exactly which documents I want to use. So now I'm going to go and start to outline. Okay, so again, your groups might be different than mine. There are plenty of ways to answer this question correctly, But the important point is the process of taking the documents and funneling them into an argument that you can use to, you know, prove your point and answer the prompt. That's the key here. That's the really important piece. So the DBQ doesn't stop there. It's not just a 15-minute reading period. There's a whole essay that you have to write. And I have tips for how to do that, how to organize the intro and how to organize the body paragraph so that you can pick up 7 points. So I want to give you the outline that I have that really picks up all those points. The link is below this video. It shows you exactly how you should organize it. And with that, I'm also going to send you just like a quick thing that you can do over the next 2 days to improve your score. So you're going to see your grade go up. So I'm really excited to like keep working with you on your DBQ. It's such an important part of the AP exam, and you know, you don't want to overlook it. So I will see you in the DBQ workshop. I want to hear from you about which DBQ point is the most challenging for you so that I can make a video to explain it. So comment below and let me know which of the DBQ points you want me to focus on. Hey, this is High Level History with Miss Amaral. Be sure to subscribe for more AP World History videos. And follow me on Instagram at HighLevHistory for a woke version of your AP World textbook.